Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. I hope you guys had a great day. I wonder if you guys got any unusual text messages.
I don't know. I would think that a lot of people that are listening to this broadcast did not. And I'm sure that you guys told as many people as possible, turn off your phone. There's many different layers to this message, to this text, to this thing that they sent out through the waves. And we talked about that a little bit yesterday, how vibration going through the phone can really, really affect people in certain ways, possibly even start certain things to occur, have certain things occur to the body. There was many reasons why they did that today. So we had a pretty curious experience that we, experienced today.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, guys, thank you for your support over on Patreon. We couldn't do it without you guys and the support that we get over on Patreon. So, I just wanted to share an experience that we had this morning. I've noticed that I can see things a little bit, a lot clearer now when we're talking about dimensionally. I've shared with you guys in years past, going way, way back, I've been able to sense and visually see energy when I do mantras, when I do my meditation, when I'm connecting to my guides. I can see, when they come into the room. What it looks like to me in the past has always been kind of waves of color, but not like boom in your face color, more subtle, like noticing the ebbing and flowing of color. A lot like those old lava lamps, honestly. That's kind of what the color would look like. For those that remember, the age of lava lamps. And let me see if I could bring one up here. How they would swirl and, kind of like this, but not like so in your face, vibrant colors. Now it's in your face, vibrant colors, just like the lava lamp we're looking at. And that is actually the two colors I was seeing the most were a vibrant kind of magenta color, and then a just exquisite, beautiful blue. Just gorgeous colors that came in when we were doing mantras today. And Cindy was able to see other things. Now, when I say this, it's with my visual eyes, but I understand that what I'm seeing it's both the visual eyes and it's the superimposition of the pineal gland acting to a very high level in conjunction with the physical eyes. And so this is something where when we go deeper into the bronze, heading into the silver and the golden age, this type of thing is common. And, for me, I started to see the life force, the literal chi, ki, prana, vril, when I was, I think, 21, 22. I just remember because it was when my daughter was on the way, my eldest. And so, that was, 37 years ago or so. That's when I first started to really see the life force. And I used to lie in bed, and if I couldn't fall asleep, I would just put my hand up in the dark room and I would focus on it, and I'd focus on drawing chi into my hand, and I would make my hand get brighter, and I could see the hand getting brighter as I'm gathering chi. Well, everything is going to a completely new place, and these things are just going to be things that everybody perceives in the time period to come.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, everybody that doesn't go the route of the system.
Right, right. I mean, these are things that if you work on a spiritual practice and work on your diet, these were things that I experienced as a child, and I could see my problem is I didn't know the difference between there was no difference as a child between my two eyes and my third eye. It's just everything was blended into one. So it's like I didn't even realize that there was a difference, being able to see the light and see everything around and having things so bright that you can't see other things, looking through different dimensions, seeing different beings that look no different than Mike is sitting here, right now. So, I mean, it took some understanding and experience that that's not the norm. And then going through life and then reverting to that again, getting back to that point where the third eye and the two eyes just pretty much just blend in. So, I mean, it's something that would send most people to the eye doctor, when you start seeing the life force. And we have a few clients that do, they've checked back in. They're like, I'm seeing all these little things, and they describe it to us, and, they describe it to a T. It is something that a lot of people will experience. And as scary as it might seem, we're not medical professionals, so we cannot give any medical advice. But me personally, and I would never go to a doctor for something like this because there's nothing wrong with me.
No, it's just that you have abilities that most people don't, but that in another age, most people will. Right. It's just that simple. The reason why you don't have them is because of the system. And the system is all about suppressing this. So you, I'm sure, are aware of the fact that the government did a test, they say, of the emergency broadcast system. It's interesting because we turned everything off. We got no text. We got nothing came through us, and talked to a couple of friends. It seems like the ones that had everything turned off, nothing came through. So this was not really a test for that. What they're doing is they understand we're in a time period right now where big waves of ascension energy are coming in. And what they're doing is they're sending out mass waves of signals in order to block the ascension energy. This is exactly what today was really all about. They can't have their control grid not functioning. Everything falters. Everything falls apart. It's going to fall apart. It is falling apart on them big time. And this is why, the next year is going to be very, very dangerous. And we have to be very, very careful. Yet at the same time, we don't want to fall prey to the fear. We just have to be aware. And if we have the bigger perspective that, again, we're only having a temporary experience as humans on planet Earth. This is not home, per se. This is not who we really are at the core. We are the consciousness that is having the human experience, but we are also a consciousness that is beyond that experience. And so I like this picture because I was telling Cindy, we were sitting there and I said, the lights are coming into the room, and I'm starting to see what I saw a few times before recently, because it gets so bright that it starts to make everything else fade away because that's how bright it is. Now, again, if it wasn't something that I understood, you might go running off to the doctor thinking, oh, am I having a stroke? Am I having, what's going on here? Is there something wrong, something really major wrong? But yet, Cindy can communicate with the guides, and, I could see that this is the guides coming in the room. And, so it was my mother's energy, my father, my brother, as well as our other bigger guides, again, like Aset, like Lakshmi, like Yeshua, like both Marys, White Buffalo Calf Woman, Kuan Yin, so many of these, benevolent beings. And, they were actually stationing themselves, and they were protecting us from the energy waves that were sent out there by the dark side. And this all happened when we were sitting and doing mantras early this morning. I think we got up at like 6-ish or something. And so it was just wild seeing how clear I could see them and how many there were. And many beings with them, many elemental beings and different beings with them. And then Cindy was getting that, this is a major ascension upgrade that's going on. And it's one that's, again, tied into our DNA lineage, our star family lineage as well.
And that's the other thing that I picked up today is a lot of star families were visiting people today, whether they knew it or not. And I think we have a really, well, no, I don't think, I know there's like this huge unseen difference between the 3D realm and, the unseen realm. And I can promise you, if you're one that is on a spiritual path and you have a spiritual practice, you had visitors today. You had different beings come in today. Could be ancestors, could be star family, could be, immediate family, those who may have just recently passed. But there was a lot of visitations today, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of comments about that in the comments, people having certain experiences. And if not today, soon, because this energy and this information travels from one realm to the other, and that sometimes can take time and sometimes it's instant. But if you open up your heart chakra, and this is what we were sitting and we both had our heart chakras open, inviting the positive energy forces to come in and allow them to surround us and allow them to protect us. It's like it just waves and waves and waves of energy came in, to the point I could see elementals way out in the fields that are around us, and they were like pulsating. So it was really quite beautiful.
Absolutely. Again, what the system has done is the system has basically cut us off from ourselves, our higher selves. The system has cut us off from our ancestors, from our own guides, and from beings that absolutely love us. There are legends of the ancient and shining ones. And, this question here, who are they and why the church tried to erase them from the history of mankind? And some of you guys have left comments saying, will we see, pure beings of light when we're in a golden age? Absolutely, yeah. And you can right now. You really can. It's just a matter of calling them in. But again, they want you to think that everything that doesn't come from them is demons and devils. And again, when we look to even the roots of that, if you take the L off of devil, you get Devi. And Devi is the shining ones of the Vedic tradition. They are the benevolent beings that guide humanity in the golden age. They teach humanity that source is within you, that your potential is unlimited, that you are a unique soul, and that's just a beautiful thing that's to be cultivated. And one size does not fit all. So most definitely, be your best version of you and be happy about that. It's not about conformity, and it's not about, giving your soul away. In fact, what the dark system is trying to do is literally trying to entrap souls as long as it can, to just utilize them as an energy resource of more than one type too. So the reality is that you can connect, and so many, again, are not receiving the help that they can be receiving just simply because they're afraid to ask. Or they ask in the way that they're taught to ask by the system, which, it hit me right away when I was early 20s. Again, it was really when it was part of my triggering. When I had gone from making some of my friends happy and going to one church after another, and using it as my own little springboard of knowledge, because I could never believe the fundamentalist type of mindset. It never hit me as making any sense. It never hit me as being true. Never. But I did go. I threw myself totally into it. I just like to have discussions. So I would have great discussions with different pastors and priests, et cetera, and pick their minds and in turn a lot of time plant seeds that would get them looking deeper at their own whole belief system. That was really what I was doing in the first place, kind of intentionally there. None of it ever resonated. However, when I did, actually the very first time I did a kind of a pagan type of ritual per se, just to the generic mother energies, the mother goddess, I immediately got an answer. Just immediately. It was as soon as I had finished the ritual, boom, immediate answer. And it was like, it made me laugh because it was like, I had gone through the system forever and never heard or felt anything. Sometimes you get warm fuzzies. You could get warm fuzzies around Christmas or the holidays. And, you really don't need dogma to get those warm fuzzies. It's just loving feelings and feelings of compassion. But here, the first time I asked the mother energy, the mother goddess energy for a sign, there was a knock at the door at midnight, and it turned out to be a cat. But the cat just looked at me and turned around and took right off. And this is how they work. They will work through animals all the time. We see it all the time. We'll see birds that land right next to us, butterflies that land on us. I had a bird land on my shoulder. A wild bird. It was, again, this is how they work. They work through nature. They work through the Devic realm. And again, the Devas are, again, shining ones of a very, very high benevolent nature that are up at the top echelon, but we have the Devic realm all around us. The elementals are taking care of flowers and trees and plants and things, and you can talk to them. And you could help them to do their job by sending them positive energy, and they will in turn help the plant grow, and maybe that plant will give you bumper crops and harvests. Again, this is all about being in sync with the mother and that type of energy.
And that energy does bring a great amount of peace, and there really shouldn't be any dogmas around it to say what you can and cannot do and what you should and should not believe. I'm a firm believer, if you are not bringing harm, then, do what you need to do for your soul. Do what you need to do for you. Be an example for others. But one thing that we've learned over and over again is doing what the mainstream shows us. It's not leading us anywhere.
Absolutely. So today was a day really of massive ascension upgrades. And what they were trying to do is to send signals out through their network, which is all those towers out there, every smart phone, every smart meter on every house, every router, you name it. They are sending signals out to block that and to disrupt our energy bodies, because our energy bodies are coming together. We are getting stronger. We are going to be way healthier. If they were not interfering right now, you would probably have people doubling their lifespans in a very short amount of time.
Well, it wasn't too long ago where people were already doubling their lifespans. If we look at the indigenous, and from what I've seen when I've looked back, there were indigenous people that were living a couple hundred years, and that really was no big deal until all the waters got poisoned and the skies got poisoned, and they started pulling up the EMFs and making things different.
Absolutely. So, it was a beautiful thing to see these beings. And again, the color is kind of like what Cindy calls baby's breath. A pearlescent magenta pink and just gorgeous blue. And literally, it did look a lot like this, as there was a lot of star-like energy in the living room while we were doing our mantras, and the entirety of the living room was enveloped in this beautiful energy, and it just kept expanding outwards. And all I could see, everything else was getting more and more fading away in the light. But instead of being nervous, I was just going into it. And we continued with the mantras and the meditation and receiving messages. And then the lights started to slowly fade away, and then they were moved on.
It was quite beautiful.
It was. So we just wanted to share that with you guys. Again, if the system wasn't there, oh man, everybody would be just thrilled at realizing, we could manifest heaven on earth right now. The potential is there. It really is there. And our co-creative abilities are growing. We could have such abundance on this planet. Such abundance. The abundance is there naturally. It's only because of the system that we don't have that abundance. And that realization is what needs to be shared with the entirety of the world. We need to come together to let the system just become a relic of a past bygone age.
Sounds like a plan to me.
As always, guys, God bless and namaste.
Namaste.